Hello, my name is Amy, and I donated my kidney to my dad. Watching my dad live the year before the transplant, I could really see how it was affecting his life. I'm from a big family, and he would just be quieter and quieter, and he never complained, not a once. But I just could see that he just didn't feel good at all. When he let us know that he had decided he wanted to have, he's 81 years old, and he really wanted to have a donated kidney. And I knew in that minute that I was the one. I mean, like I said, I have 5 other siblings, and he never asked us directly, and he wouldn't have. He just said that that's what he was going to do and look into. And as he said it, I said it on the phone. I talked to my sister. She said, she was going to do the same. I didn't have a question that if I could, it was going to be me. What surprised me absolutely the most was that if I gave a kidney, it was if I hadn't given a kidney. My kidney would work fully, no problem. I would be able to live my life just like I'd lived it. With the testing that was done beforehand, I learned how healthy I was, so I am appreciative. And so that surprised me. I wondered, whether I would, have to eat a special diet or live a special way other than being healthy in general. So that was a welcome surprise to learn. I think my biggest fear was I'd never had any kind of surgery before, so my fear was how was it going to hurt? Was it going to hurt? I own my own company. Was I going to be able to be out as long as I needed to be out? But and would it work? I mean, that was really, would I go through this, and then ultimately would it work? So those were the fears that sort of ran through my head, really while we were testing, and just thinking and wondering how would it go, and trusting both the team and the surgeons and God that it would all turn out the way it needed to turn out. At some point, I really did just trust God. I stopped worrying about any of it or all of it and started to focus on what we needed to do and how soon we needed to do it and what did I need to do to take care of my business while I was away, and who would take care of my dad and all those things. And it became much more, the focus was on the success of it and how it would turn out versus what I had worried about or had concerns about or just, didn't know. It's just unknown. The transplant team and the nephrologist, the guy that talked to me, and the nephrologist that my dad had, I felt like I could ask any question at all. There was zero pressure that this was the thing I should be doing. If anything, they kind of kept pulling like, what else? What else? What else? What else do you think? Are you worried about? Do you want to know? And couldn't have been any more knowledgeable and or kind is the word that I think of. It's just like they really were aware of what we were both facing and our family was facing, given both of us going into surgery. It was really, I just felt so well taken care of. Leading up to the procedure, I guess I said there was something about I felt like my faith really took over, like this was so the right thing to be doing and how it was, and I knew I wasn't going to take it glibly, like it is major surgery and for both of us. So I think I coped with any stress beforehand by talking to people, by sharing with my family, by praying, by doing what I did, just work my normal life and be able to know that we would be taken care of when the time came, and nothing would be put in front of us that neither one of us could do. I was extremely positive that I knew how it was going to go, and I knew I had to be Couldn't pretend that it might go some other way, but in my heart, I knew it was going to go good. There were so many people who supported me during this process. I couldn't have done it without my partner, Kathy. I was home for a month, and she took care of everything from what I ate to making sure I got up and walked and all the things that, books to read and just the time to rest and relax. And I have an extraordinary team here at my company. I didn't even think twice about how things were going to go. They just took care of everything. So, and of course, my siblings and neighbors, and the outpouring of love was unbelievable. So I was really, really fortunate in that regard to know that I had so many people around me who were willing to do anything and everything to make sure that the time went and I really rested and took care of myself. And it was good. The surgery took a couple of hours that I remember. Here's the thing I remember before. So when I was in the prep room and the nurse was there and she was getting me ready, and I had talked to my dad the day before, just to say I would see him on the flip side and it would be good. And so Kathy was there, and the next thing you know, one of the nurses said, "Somebody's here to see you," and they pulled my dad up, and my mom was there, my sisters were there, and we thumbed up and off we both went. So I was in the hospital for 3 days afterwards, including the day of the surgery. And then I was able to go home. So it was, it went quickly, what I remember. I went back to work after 4 weeks and pretty much felt myself. I might have gotten a little bit tired, more tired than I did before. But in 2 months, I was really totally myself. Like you wouldn't have known that. I didn't know that I had the surgery. So it really did not take long to actually be back and have life be normal as it had been before. My life is pretty much the same as it was before I did the surgery. I just did, in April, I walked my 9th half marathon, and, my normal, it makes me tired, it's fine. I run my business. I live my life. It is really no different than before I had the surgery. Difference being that my dad is a different guy and bright-eyed and in love with life, and that's the difference. My own health, I'm in great shape as I was before. Mostly when I tell people my story or tell them about donating the kidney to my dad, I think they're first, in awe that we were able to do that, and I would think to do that, and I really realized it's so much more about the person who needs the kidney, because from my perspective as a living donor, it really it took some time, but it really it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. So I think they're surprised when I say that. I think that's really more than anything. Did it hurt? Do you have to do anything different? Okay, I miss Advil, I have to admit. But otherwise, that's really it. So that's really mostly the questions. Did it hurt? Is your life the same? How's your dad? This is how I feel about donating. My dad gave me life, and never in a million years would I have thought that I could have a chance to give him something that would make his life, really extend his life and give him a quality of life. So I am proud and I'm honored, and I would do it all over again. The best advice I could give someone who's considering being a living donor is listen to your heart. The professionals, the physicians, I didn't run into anybody that was involved with the kidney transplant team in any way, whether it was learning or answering questions or the financial person, or They know everything. You can trust them. So if your heart says this is what you want to do for somebody, whether you know this person or you don't know this person, it is life-giving. I think, listen, and if your heart says yes, put your name on that paper and take the steps, because you'll be well taken care of.